healthy protein super shake recipe. So, and I'm not crying here, I just washed my face before starting this and rinsed my eyes out because I had some dust going to my face. I was changing curtains. So anyway, starting out, this is a glass bottle with filtered water in it. I recommend everybody to filter the water and to avoid consuming food and liquids out of plastic containers. Plastic is poison. Drinking out of water bottles made of plastic, eating out of plastic containers, it's bad for health. So I recommend everybody that cares about the health to avoid consuming food and drinks as much as possible from plastic containers, and choose other things like stainless steel, glass, and things like that. So I've already taught an important health fitness fact. There's a lot of people that drink a lot of water out of water bottles and eat out of plastic containers. So avoid drinking and eating out of plastic containers as much as possible. And plastics, especially BPA plastic, can disturb men's hormone, which is another thing that's attacking and lowering the average man's testosterone, which is why the average man has so low T. One of many reasons is plastics, microplastics. And yes, you can't avoid microplastics. You're going to have exposure, but it makes sense that you work to mitigate, reduce your exposure. So, I mean, if you buy food, it might have microplastics in it, but it's like at least don't eat the food out of plastic. So consume food and drink liquids out of glass containers optimally. That's a good health tip. Another thing, filter your water. So this is a glass bottle with filtered water. This is my Dolphy filter pot. That's another thing I recommend people that care about the health to do. Start filtering your water. The filter cartridges that I buy for this, it says on the packaging, it reduces, removes or reduces something, it reduces some things it removes. So reduce or removes chlorine, herbicides, pesticides, heavy metals, and chlorine. And you will have in a lot of places at least trace amounts of chlorine in tap water. Now another thing that you can do for chlorine water purification I've been teaching for years is incredibly valuable. If you would just pour up water from your tap, and if you would have trace amounts of chlorine, we're not talking about, I'm not recommending water has been tested and unsafe to drink, okay? But if you have some trace amount of chlorine in your city tap water, just adding a gram of ascorbic acid, vitamin C, to a liter of water can reduce or completely neutralize the chlorine in there. You can Google that to verify what I'm saying. So basically, I just taught you something, how you can make your water cleaner and safer to drink without buying anything, without buying any water filters. Just by adding a gram of vitamin C, ascorbic acid powder, to a liter of water, you are reducing the toxicity of the tap water if it has trace amounts of this or that toxin in it. You can Google this to verify it yourself. Google ascorbic acid water purification. And in the page 1 on Google, you see an article or blog post, something study, whatever, where it says that ascorbic acid can be used for water purification against chlorine. So that's something you just learned. You should have listened to my health fitness advice a long time ago. You would have learned already a long time ago that vitamin C is a broad spectrum antitoxin. And you would have heard me years back tell people, I recommend you to filter your water. And here's another way you can clean your water, purify it. Just add a pinch of ascorbic acid powder to water. So if you're gonna pour up like a pot or a bottle of water, you can just add a gram, 1,000 milligrams of ascorbic acid to a liter glass bottle and pour up the water. And if there's trace amounts of chlorine in city tap water, it can reduce or even completely neutralize it pre-ingestion. So having vitamin C in your body also makes you less vulnerable to toxic exposures. If toxins get into your body, if you have vitamin C in your body is not as vulnerable to toxin exposure, which is not an incredibly valuable thing I've been teaching people. My health fitness protocol, teaching people a very incredibly powerful health fitness protocol. And what is that? Detox your life, quit the sugar. If I wanted to quit the sugar, at least dramatically reduce your daily sugar intake, meaning eat less sugar, a lot less. And 3, get on the list of supplements. And I have a list of supplements. It's vitamin C, niacin, magnesium, D3, K2, a B complex, And that's a 5 list. And ultimately, you take omega-3 fish oil. Tom Levy, MD, has made videos where it says people take these supplements, all-cause mortality goes down, which means what I've been teaching, the supplement list, according to Tom Levy, they'll be reducing all-cause mortality, which means Christians out there are less likely to die in the next 10 years if they would have heard me teach the health fitness protocol and gotten on it, see. And there's nobody else in the body of Christ that's been as valuable as I am. There's Christians do the Bible church. This person has a heart attack. This person has a heart problem. They had cancer. They had this, that health problem. And I know for certain if these people would be listening to me, not to the Bible church, there's a lot of these people that never would have ended up in the hospital. So I will share my super shake recipe and speak freely on the topic of health fitness. If you truly know something, you had to build it I do, just go live and teach it. And you don't need a week to prepare and write a script and talking points and something like this. Or have a teleprompter when it's speaking. So I recommend people to filter the water and drink out of glass containers. Now, if you buy something that comes with a cap, there can be some microplastic contamination from the cap, depending on what type of cap it is. So even if you buy like a glass bottle that has a plastic cap, you might still have plastic contamination in the liquid. Now, still, if there's plastic here, it's going to be less plastic than if this is plastic and this is plastic. It just makes sense. So anyway, here's the point. I recommend everybody cares about the health to filter the water. I've also been recommending fluoride-free toothpaste for years. See, that's another thing that I recommend. I didn't hear a pastor recommend that. And I've been recommended to use homemade salt water for mouthwash rather than the commercial stuff. Okay. So, today's super shake recipe while teaching health fitness. I recommend you, and the filter your water goes into the detox your life category of my 3-part health fitness protocol. That's extremely powerful and effective. So, and adding ascorbic acid to a liquid, if there's trace amounts of chlorine from the tap water, the ascorbic acid, vitamin C part added to just a pinch, just a gram to a liter, can ranging from reduce to completely neutralize trace amounts of chlorine. So that's not a conspiracy theory. If you Google, do some research, you can find that there's trace amounts of chlorine in a lot of city tap water. And it's not something that anybody's teaching you need chlorine for your health. So even if it's just a little, if you can completely neutralize it, you're getting less chlorine all the time. It can make a big difference. So, and you also learned the truth in this video that vitamin C is a broad spectrum antitoxin, which is very valuable. Because the big problem why people are sick and unhealthy now is because of chemical toxin exposure, heavy metal toxin exposure. So if you're deficient in vitamin C, you're hurting more. All these Christians have been hurting so much because they haven't been listening to me. They listen to incompetent, worthless, useless leadership while they're living their life like Satan wants Christians to live their life, that they might not prosper and be in health. But Satan's world system, the satanic deep state, have set up this world and guided the masses to live a lifestyle that's like designed to give you cancer or have a short life, have this health problem, that health problem. And the average Christian is helping Satan by not teaching health fitness truth. And I'm not joking. What I've been teaching, sooner or later, people wake up to it and see that I was right. And things I've been teaching for years, it's starting to become more normal now. So, the Christians out there, there's a lot of Christians got sick, hospitalized, died. They would have been alive if they would have quality teaching. A person like me teaching them health fitness truth and applying it. So, I recommend everybody to filter the water. The thief come not for to kill and steal and to destroy. I am come that my life and have more abundant life. For I am not as others is ignorant of sin's devices lest he should advantage of us. I know that the satanic deep state want to mass eat a high sugar diet. This make you sick, weak, and easy to control. I know that the satanic deep state have tricked the mass into using softener, countertop cleaner, these toxic chemical laden hiding from cleaning chemicals. And I've been warning Christians about that, and everybody, okay? And I've been teaching the truth that you're more vulnerable to toxic chemical exposure if you're deficient in vitamin C, and have a protocol designed to ensure that you're not deficient in vitamin C. So people that are using all these toxic chemical hiding from cleaning products and not and taking less than a gram of vitamin C per day, it's hurting them more than if they would have been using all these toxic chemical hydrogen products, but they follow my protocol, taking 3+ grams of vitamin C per day. See? So every day, it's like you have carcinogenic toxic chemical exposure every day. While being deficient in the antitoxic vitamin C, that would have made you be less hurt from these toxic chemicals. And I personally believe there'd be less cancer. And I want to be bolder, but this is YouTube, so I can't be as valuable as I want to be on YouTube. But here's the point, I'm not teaching cancer cures, but I have been teaching things that will make less Christians have cancer. A lot of Christians got cancer. They never would have gotten cancer if they would be listening to me, not Tom Segal, the Bible Church, or this other sellout fakes. They've been teaching this. I can say that for sure. There's Christians that wouldn't have gotten cancer if they've been listening to me, taking my advice. My protocol is designed to, first of all, warn you that the hydrogen cleaning chemicals are toxic for you. And a lot of them are carcinogenic toxic chemicals. I don't think it's a great stretch of imagination to say that if you tell people to expose yourself less to carcinogenic toxins, you're less likely to get cancer. I've seen studies on people that work in a beauty salon. Statistically, there's more people that work in a beauty salon or work as a cleaning firm. Okay, they work as a cleaner that goes and cleans other people's homes, that there's more cancer in those groups. Why is that? Because they have a higher level of toxic chemical exposure, same type the average person has, but at a higher level, see. So you have more cancers in beauty salon workers that for 8 hours every day is in an environment where there's perfume, scented fragrance products, spraying hairspray right above the person, spraying hairspray, inhaling it. And if you would research a lot of these beauty salon products, are the same ones that people use at home, or they're kind of more priced a lot of times. It's going to be a lot of them that are carcinogenic, see. So there's a lot of Christians that got in cancer that wouldn't got in cancer if they would be listening to me. I'm not teaching cancer cures in this video. I'm teaching cancer prevention. And part of that is ensure you're not deficient in vitamin C, get less toxic chemical exposure into you, and reduce, like switch from carcinogenic toxic chemical hydrogen cleaner products, if you use them, and most people are, to natural alternatives, and then so on and so forth. So there's also a lot of Christians, the Bible Church listeners, that have gotten heart problems and have gotten root canal procedures done since becoming a member of the Bible Church. Whereas I would have warned them, don't get a root canal willy-nilly. And I would have linked them to Tom Levy's video, MD, root canals. You can search, YouTube search, Tom Levy root canal, see? So there's a lot of good Bible Church people that have gotten root canal procedures done. And if they would have found me listening to me all these years, not to the Bible Church, they would have been not taught just good doctrine. They would have been taught from the real Bible, and they would have been warned. It's like, don't just get a root canal willy-nilly. It's like, watch this video before you get a root canal. Tom Levy, MD, root canal. And I'm not going to enable everybody. Sometimes I go above and beyond when making videos like this. And it's like, in the comment section description, it's like relevant links to topics discussed this video. And then I link to the Tom Levy video I just referenced, a link to a Men's Health article about toxic chemicals and their effects on human beings, a link to this and that, root canal, this and that. But it should be enough. I'm not going to enable you to be lazy, because a big part of my teaching too is about discipline, and being disciplined and putting in hard work and being able to endure hardness. So I'm not going to enable people to be lazy and stay lazy, because that's a big part of the problem. People need to learn to be more disciplined. I had to do research when I was sick, and as my mind, I was in with brain fog and low energy, and was fatigued, and I had to put in hours and hours of work to focus on videos and take notes and learn what I've learned. See, hundreds of hours, if not thousands, of watching videos, reading articles, science papers, all the stuff to learn what I've learned. So anyway, you can YouTube search Tom Levy root canal on YouTube. Tom Levy root canal. Watch the video. It's about 10 minutes, 33 seconds or 32 long. So it's a 10-minute video, Tom Levy root canal. And it's not impossible to add it to the comment section or something like this. So check my videos if you're a subscriber. Sometimes I add links in the description or in the comment section of the videos. So anyway, let's get to the main topic here, and I can make more videos teaching like this on Rumble, because I don't feel comfortable on YouTube. It's like I can't be as valuable as I'd like to be on YouTube. Okay. And I'm not saying don't get a root canal. I'm saying get a second opinion. Before getting a root canal, get a second opinion from Tom Levy. And I think the guy who was in the video was a dentist, quite possibly. For sure, Tom Levy has been in a video with a dental person. Okay, so all I'm saying is get a second opinion. I'm not saying don't go to the dentist. I'm not saying don't do this medical procedure. I'm saying get a second opinion is my recommendation. Watch the Tom Lee video root canals before you get one. Okay, because you might get a tooth infection and the dentist might recommend a root canal, and there might be another dentist that would say no, you don't need a root canal, it's unnecessary. It's like we're up for an extraction or something else. So it's like just have more knowledge, you can make better decisions. Okay, so we're gonna get to the super shake recipe here. So this is first of all filtered water, the off a filter pot, and it's marketed as removes lime scale, heavy metals, chlorine, herbicides, and pesticides. So some of these things are just listed off that the filter cartridge that I buy list as like it removes or reduces these. Reduce some, removes completely others. Some of these things might make it into your city water supply. It depends on where you live. And it can be trace amounts, where a lot of times in Sweden they might have like acceptable levels. Where it's like they allow this substance, what do you call it, like this heavy metal or something like this. There can be this much arsenic, because it's like, unless they're distilling the water, you're gonna have some stuff in there. Maybe a little bit of chlorine, a little bit of arsenic in your tap water, maybe a little bit of cadmium, maybe even trace amounts of lead, see? So it's not like it has to be distillation like lab grade water. No, but it can be that you have trace amounts of things. Trace amounts of lead, cadmium, chlorine. And if you have trace amounts or many bad things for many bad days, now 1,000, if you have 1,000 doses of a little bit of this poison, that becomes one huge dose spread out over time. See, so my recommendation is, I'm not saying don't stop drinking tap water. Actually, it would be worse for you to stop drinking tap water, because you die of dehydration within a week, whereas it might take 20 years to kill you, having the arsenic exposure you might get from the tap water if you're in a bad place. But you have more like arsenic in the tap water than another person. Okay, like if you live in a state or something like this where the water purification plant is not as effective as others, and you have higher amounts of arsenic than others, still trace amounts but higher amounts. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying to stop drinking water, but start cleaning your water, purifying your water, and start strengthening your body to be less vulnerable to toxins. We're also going to get into heavy metal detoxification. So spirulina and chlorella this is spirulina chlorella powder. Spirulina and chlorella can help you to detox heavy metals by being chelators. A chelator, it comes from the Greek word for claw. So human beings, all of us have toxins out of us, from microplastics to arsenic to aluminum. And there's a rise in Alzheimer's. There's a connection between aluminum on the brain and Alzheimer's, dementia. And since the start of aluminum cookware, people start to cook with aluminum foil, having aluminum cookware, drink out aluminum cans, you have more Alzheimer's dementia per 10,000 people in the elderly. Since if you look at like real science and facts, it's like aluminum exposure going up, you have more dementia and Alzheimer's patients. So there is a connection between Alzheimer's, dementia, and aluminum on the brain. And a lot of deodorant contains aluminum. Oh, you mean like Mike has been teaching things that's incredibly valuable, making less likely people get cancer, get Alzheimer's, dementia, teaching people how to cure panic attacks and have more energy and all this. I'm incredibly valuable to people. And these people say, Mike, you suck, you have off nowhere. These are inversions of the truth. So anyway, here's the point. There's things that are chelators, okay? We're not talking big pharma chelation now. That like you're poisoned to where you end up in a hospital and they do chelation. There's super powerful ones, DMSO and DMPS, okay? That's not what we're talking about here. We talk about natural things that a lot of people already have in their diet on a rare low level, like coriander, cilantro is a chelator. It can help to pull out toxins and release them. Spirulina and chlorella are also chelators. So here's 3 natural herb spice chelators. Chlorella and spirulina and coriander, cilantro, aka cilantro. So a chelator is something, so the human body stores fat in adipose tissue. It stores toxins in adipose tissue. So you have more toxins in the adipose tissue than in your muscle tissue. Okay. So adipose meaning fat. Okay. So we don't have to, this is not really necessary. It's like sometimes I teach because it's knowledge, but it's like the most important thing is what I told you is here are things that remove heavy metals from your body. And then if I want to speak a little bit more about, well, the word chelator, I just tell this can help you detox heavy metals, okay, which a lot of people have too much of. And if I go, well, it's because it's a chelator, and chelate goes back to the Greek word for claw, that's why it's called chelator, because it reaches into your tissues, grabs onto heavy metals, pulls them out into circulation, they release into circulation, and they can be passed out of your system. 3 main detox pathways: urination, perspiration, and defecation. So every time you shit, piss, or sweat, you're detoxing. So you're pushing toxins out. Notice more valuable information. You're detox yourself with your sweat. I've talked before how a lot of people have toxic level of iron. See, in the video, Mike Savard, Sam Sulek, I referenced that. A lot of people have toxic levels of iron in their bodies. And I just told you, generally, here are 3 ways your body detoxes itself: defecation, urination, perspiration. So pissing, shitting, sweating, okay? Iron especially is effectively detox via perspiration, meaning sweating. So if you're a person that's been having too much iron, taking a multivitamin, iron supplements, and you have too much, you just learned that sweating is a very effective way to detox iron. So if that's getting in a sauna, a hot bed, or exercise, cold exercise, you're doing something that breaks the sweat and keeps you sweating, you're sweating and you're pushing out iron if you have too much of it. So detoxification. So there's different, I could spend 3 hours teaching detoxification. So detoxification, as I'm teaching it, it deals with what? What I'd like to get into. Well, it's going to be working to have less toxins enter into your body on a daily basis. And it's going to be working to remove toxins that are already in your body. Do you understand? Like less toxins getting into your body all the time, and doing things to remove toxins that are already in your body, and taking supplements that make you less vulnerable to toxins that do get into your body, no matter how hard you try to keep them. It makes sense to work to reduce your exposure. So, this is filtered water. The first ingredient will be ascorbic acid, aka vitamin C. I'll have you know. So here's the ascorbic acid, vitamin C. So not only is this filtered water, glass bottle, but I will add ascorbic acid, aka vitamin C, to it. About 3 grams. Okay, spirulina and chlorella powder. Yeah, so, okay, spirulina and chlorella are 2 natural things that can help with the detox heavy metals, chelate heavy metals. So you have toxins stored away in your body. A chelate is something that reaches into your body, grabs onto the toxins, like they're stuck in your fat tissue, pulls them out, they enter into circulation, awaiting passing, meaning they're waiting to be passed, enter into circulation. So if you have toxins stored away in your belly fat, and you take a chelator, it pulls it out, enters into circulation, which means like it can be in your bloodstream, it's in circulation, okay, it's flowing through your body. And if you sweat, it's leaving your body through the sweat. So it pulls it out, enters into circulation. You're sweating, it leaves through sweat. You take a crap, it leaves your body. You urinate, it leaves your body. So it's stuck in your fat tissue, some of these toxins. Some of them can be in your skeleton, it can be in your, okay, but it's stuck in your body. And it's not like being detoxed. A chelator grabs onto the toxin, releases into circulation, so it can be detoxed via perspiration, defecation, urination. See? Or even binders is another thing we can get into on the topic of detoxing. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I've been teaching on detoxification, and to me, a vitamin C detox flash while doing chelation therapy is superior to activated charcoal, which is what most people only know that. Like health fitness groups on Facebook, and people are into detoxing. At best, they get into learning about taking activated charcoal, so it's like a binder, okay? Whereas, as far as I'm concerned, vitamin C detox flashes are better. While chelating. And you don't want to do anything serious to chelate before getting on the supplement list that I'm recommending. Okay, at least start taking vitamin C, because if you have toxins entering the circulation, you can have a Herxheimer reaction where you feel worse initially. So you want to have vitamin C in circulation at the same time to reduce the oxidative stress to reduce the bad effect of toxins entering the circulation that can make you feel crummy. It's often called a Herxheimer reaction. So anyway, that's the point. This is filtered water with vitamin C in it and chelators. I want put 2 chelators. Now that's not a big pharma drug, okay? It's coriander spirulina powder, which I bought on Amazon. And so those are 2 chelators, coriander spirulina, and also coriander cilantro, which a lot of people are using that in their cooking. There's a lot of people that have buy some organic smoothie sometimes, and it has some coriander spirulina in it, either or. So we're not talking about drugs here, like intense stuff, okay? But this is something that having this greens powder with spirulina and chlorella in it, and adding a little bit of coriander to your cooking, that can make you start releasing heavy metals that are locked into your body, stored away in your body, and help you to release them and slowly detoxify yourself. Now remember, detoxification is retoxification. So if you do anything that chelates, removes toxins from your body, you can feel worse while you're chelating. Now we're not talking about a heavy chelation protocol here, but it's just, this is spirulina and chlorella powder. As a person who wants to get blocked for being passive aggressive in the chat, do not stop abuse tactics, more money cyber stalkers. I'm not turning videos means I get cyber stalked. And a big part of Tony's work to push my buttons. So it's like if they've had people bully me before about Mike, we can't hear you due to your thick accent or something like this. And over time it becomes like a pressure, like a button to push. And this person comes in asking, what's the accent? Because it's something that the people attacking before have. We can't hear this like gaslighting. When in reality, I've been praised by people, Americans. There's like, it's amazing. Mike speaks 2 languages, he's bilingual. So it's like English is my second language, and I speak English better than 99% of Swedish people. So there's less of an accent when I speak English than 99% of Swedes. There's as usual devaluation and inversion, where it's like Mike speaks American English really well. His vocabulary is larger than the average American's middle age in their own language, and there's a surprising absence of a thick Swedish accent when he speaks. Okay, so it's like, well, you can't understand it through a thick Swedish accent or something like this. There's been something the haters have done, and they've seen me like crash out about that. So it's like, have this cyber stalker find Mike Sharp in the chat. What is the accent? Just as a subtle way to push my buttons, and it's designed to make me look paranoid and be like, oh, because you only saw this once. You don't see this being a pattern of people bullying me about my accent, okay? See? So that's the type of stuff we deal with here. So anyway, person got blocked. So this is water, filtered water, with 3 grams of ascorbic acid in it. This is spirulina and chlorella powder, which I told you before. Help your body to detoxify itself. Whoa. Okay. Detoxify itself from heavy metals. I could have used the funnel. So now that ended up being a lot more than I normally use. So this doesn't normally happen. I guess it's because of the video this happened. So chlorella and spirulina powder. And this is protein powder, vegan protein powder. I'm not vegan, but my protein powder is. Why do I use this vegan protein powder? Because it's the only protein powder I can find on the website where I buy a lot of my supplements. Top Formula. It's a Swedish only. You can't order from that from America anywhere else. It's the only protein powder I found at a store that's up to my standards. It's unsweetened, doesn't have chemical poison sweeteners. Chemical sweeteners are bad for you. Doesn't have chemical sweeteners, doesn't have flavorings, no colorings, flavorings. It's just protein powder and inulin, which is insoluble, either insoluble or soluble fiber, but it's a fiber. So it has, it's potato protein 62%, pea protein 21%, hemp protein 5.2%, and inulin. And then thickener, cellulose-gum, which is not like a big issue. So that's my protein powder. And I'm making this concentrate strength, which means I'm making a protein shake for today and for tomorrow. Yes, so I don't have a thick Swedish accent when I speak American English. So it's almost like gaslighting. I don't really think that I have a thick Swedish accent when I'm speaking. I am communicating to an acceptable degree of clarity. Okay. So I don't know what's wrong with you people. Maybe you can go look at the fake Natty, Common Sense, if you want to hear what the average Swede looks like. And I'm not saying he is worse at English than the average Swede. That's like baseline. Actually, he's a little bit better than the average Swede in speaking English because he makes American English videos. Okay. Hello, today I'm going to make a little video. This is how most Swedish people sound when they talk. Hello, today I'm going to make a little video. This is how most Swedish sounds like when they talk. So it's actually the opposite. People who do accent. I stand out. Narcissist evaluation. Mike is rare in his language ability. He's linguistically gifted. He can speak English better than 99% of people in his country, Sweden. Okay, and there's less of an accent. So it's rarely little accent going on when Mike speaks English. And as a matter of fact, there's a greater vocabulary in American English than a lot of Americans do that are middle-aged. Okay. The same type of people that go, when I teach, the kingdom's power is the word of God. I get comments, but it's hard to understand the big words, it's archaic or something like this. And I don't have any problem understanding it. So, anyway. Chlorella and cilantro, aka cilantro. Chlorella, cilantro, spirulina and chlorella are chelators, which means we all have toxins in our body. And if you use coriander in cooking, just a little bit, now and then, and take chlorella and spirulina as a supplement, that can help you to release toxic heavy metals that are like stuck in your system. And I recommend going low and slow. So we're not talking about some heavy protocol here. I'm saying like take a tablespoon of coriander put a tablespoon of coriander in every meal you have, and take like 30 tablespoons of chlorella, because you might be releasing too many heavy metals too soon, and you can have like a Herx reaction where you feel worse and kind of get sick. So you want to go low and slow. Simple rule of thumb when it comes to chelation: anything you're doing, chlorella, spirulina supplementation, adding coriander to your cooking, to your food, low and slow. So you don't start like every day, every meal, a lot of coriander spice, because you heard it can help release heavy metals. And it's not like, well, I'm going to take like 15 tablets of chlorella, spirulina tablets about 9 or something. No, you start low and slow. Okay. So that's one of the rare ones where I will say, typically people normally as a person say, take a lot more than what a lot of people think you need to take of this and that supplement. Now, I would say if you buy chlorella, spirulina tablets on Amazon or powder, whatever it says, you might actually want to take less, okay, at most what it says on the bottle. So if you buy a chlorella, spirulina supplement and it says take 1 tablet a day with food, or if it says take 2 to 4 tablets a day with food, I would recommend maybe start, if you want to be really like careful, You take 1 tablet week 1, 2 tablets week 2, 3 tablets week 3, until you hit the recommended amount of the bottle, which says 4 tablets, 4 tablets, 4 a day. And then you can stay at 4 a day. See? So you don't go to the, you want to take it easy and be careful with chelators, if it's natural or not. Okay. Now I saw a study somewhere when I was doing research on this, where it's like some doctor or something that had tested a patient for, he had too much mercury, and that's quite common. There's like something that gets detected in blood tests, and the doctor will be, oh, you got too much mercury. Have you been eating a lot of fish or something like this? Yeah, okay, eat less fish. Now, there was something about either a study or like a case study where somebody that had shown high levels of mercury, and then leaving a lot of it, he had been eating some kind of dish that involved a lot of cilantro in it. Okay, so cilantro is a heavy metal killer. So people are eating foods already that contain cilantro. You're releasing heavy metals in your body. So yeah, a chelator is something that reaches into your tissues, grabs onto heavy metals, pulls them out into circulation, and after having entered into circulation, they can be passed via your detox pathways: urination, defecation, and perspiration, which means sweating, peeing, and shitting. Okay, which is another very important part of health. Frequent bowel movements. If you eat food and you don't have frequent bowel movements, whatever you eat, it becomes poison in your stomach. It starts rotting and growing a very powerfully toxic bacteria in your stomach. So there's quite a lot of people that have constipation issues, or they slow bellies. They go to the bathroom maybe once every 3 days or every 2 days, don't have frequent bowel movements. So frequent bowel movements are crucial to good health too. Even if you're eating organic fruit salads and grass-fed meat, whatever, the cleanest you can get, whatever you're eating becomes poison if you take too long to go number 2 after eating it. That's another thing I've been teaching. Another valuable thing, natural laxative, where there's something called a vitamin C detox flush, where you can at will have a bowel movement, and it's similar to an enema, but that's a topic for another discussion. So, chlorella and spirulina, and the protein powder, which I'm out of now actually. Well, all but out. So I'm making this concentrate strength to be for 2 days in a row. For today's OMAD meal and tomorrow's. For those that have watched my channel before, know that I do OMAD fast, which means that I eat only 1 time per day, fast 20 hours. So this is for today's and tomorrow's OMAD meal. I've already meal prepped. Well, I already did 1/3 of the meal prep before this video by loading up the grand post-meal supplements, which means all the supplements I will take after finishing my OMAD meal. So that's my grand post-meal supplements. Next up, normally I would add creatine and glutamine to my super shake. The reason that I will not this time, even though I have creatine and glutamine at home, is that the creatine and glutamine that I bought this month, I bought the wrong kind of creatine and glutamine, and it had all these chemical sweeteners in this, aspartame and aspartame K and this and that. So I've been actually microdosing that, but normally I would megadosing both creatine and glutamine. So I bought 2 bags. It's like, yay, megadosing creatine glutamine. I've been on it for a while, and I bought the wrong type. And after I got it, it's like it has chemical sweeteners, aspartame, aspartame K, this and that. So I bought the wrong type of creatine and glutamine, and I've been microdosing it rather than megadosing it. Get just a few grams until I can get a hold of some pure creatine and glutamine. Creatine and glutamine are amino acids. Creatine can help boost athletic performance and give you more energy and a higher rep rate. You can get more reps in. So some effects of creatine is it can help you to be able to exercise harder. and it can also help you with recovery. And it has mental benefits as well. And glutamine especially aids recovery. So glutamine and creatine are good amino acids. So that's for organic protein powder, chlorella spirulina, and a digestive enzyme tablet. Next, I'm going to add probiotics to this. That's why I call it super shake. My protein shakes, I call them super shake because they are. It's not just a protein powder and liquid. It's protein powder that's a good protein powder. Unsweetened, unflavored, which is better than the one that is. I add digestive enzymes to it. Probiotics, vitamin C, amino acids, typically, a lot of times, and probiotics. So it's a protein shake that's also a liquid probiotic supplement. Digestive enzyme. Digestive enzyme as well. I gotta get the probiotics. And I'm feeling a little bit nervous and anxious. So the reason I normally wear sunglasses is because I have autism and correlating strengths and sensitivities, which means my brain gets overloaded and stressed and tense and nervous by bright lights, and I have a light right there for this video. So I feel more like tense and my mental performance is decreased. I've been teaching this before, why I wear sunglasses. Because if I don't wear sunglasses, my clarity of speech can actually go down. So I might not be as clear as usual, but that doesn't mean that I'm entirely unclear enough. I get more stressed and anxious and tense and nervous, basically. So exposure to bright lights and loud noises gives me tension and stress and anxiety, and it makes my brain work worse, okay? It overloads my brain. Hence the sunglasses and earplugs you see wear a lot of my videos. Speaking of which, I had them here. Now I've greatly improved. There's another thing, a success story that makes me extremely valuable to people. There's a lot of people that suffer from anxiety. I'm a success story, a winner. I'm a person that had debilitating social anxiety, agoraphobia, suffering from frequent panic attacks for many years. And I couldn't even talk to the phone to strangers without having panic attack of anxiety, like my body would be shutting down. Do you understand? I couldn't even talk, communicate, do socializing, speaking to strangers on the phone without being super stressed before. Couldn't go out in public with a lot of people around, I'd be too stressed. And I forced myself to start doing videos, public speaking. See? And now I'm doing public speaking live for hours and hours and hours. That's discipline, not being lazy and weak and being able to endure hardness. This is a success story. Autistic person, debilitating social anxiety, can't be out in public without panic attacks. Can't like talk to strangers on the phone or to talk on the phone to people without extreme anxiety. And they do something that a lot of people have a problem with public speaking because it gives people extreme anxiety. They are not autistic and have like an anxiety problem that they've been diagnosed with by a doctor. See? So that is another area where I've been successful. And it's not as a monotherapy discipline and forcing myself to do it, which is called exposure therapy, which is another thing I can teach people how to cure phobias. It's exposure therapy, meaning forcing myself to do the things that was hard for me to do, like David Goggins. See? It's like extreme social anxiety, like forcing myself to start doing calls more. It gives me a lot of stress. Forcing myself to do video calls is a little bit more. And now it's like, okay, I can do video calls now. At first, I can talk on the phone. It's still kind of nervous and stressed, but I kept doing it until I can do it. Do video calls, that's initially was hard because it's like a high level socializing where it's like you look at a person's camera, video call. Forced myself to do that, kept doing it, and now I do it every day, talk on video calls, which that'd be like a huge thing to me before. Doing public speaking, which is something that people that don't have like anxiety problems, gives them anxiety. See? So that's another thing. I've forced myself to do public speaking, live stream on the internet, upload videos, and yeah, initially it was really hard and feeling nervous and anxious every time I do it, but I forced myself to keep doing it for hours and hours every day until I got to a point where I'm live streaming like 12 hours per day a lot of time. See? And despite sometimes I still have some tension. Now, it's not just exposure, like forcing myself to do it. That's part of it. forcing myself to do it even though it's hard until I overcome it and get better, which is progressive overload, say. One thing or many things. It's like exercising. You can do this much, but it's hard. Do a little bit more, and it's hard, okay, and then a little bit more, and it's hard. It's called progressive overload, which is basically a big part of exposure therapy if you have a problem that gives anxiety. Now, when I hit the point, it's not just the exposure I was doing, like forcing myself to do public speaking and socializing. That was the reason I overcame these problems. It's also supporting myself. That's another thing I can teach people, how to lower stress, reduce anxiety and stress, which a lot of people are dealing with. I can teach people how to cure depression. I can teach people how to reduce the stress. I'm extremely a high value man, extremely valuable to people. I can teach cancer prevention, can teach apparently how to cure panic attacks if people have them. I've been depressed before, prescribed antidepressants, haven't taken them for years, and I'm not depressed anymore. So apparently I'm a person that knows how to fix depression and panic attacks and asthma attacks and other things. So I'm extremely valuable to people. There's a lot of people that are going to get depression. Most people get depressed at least once in a lifetime. I can teach people get on my protocols, take my advice, less likely to become depressed. And people that are depressed can see some relief in depression if they take my advice. Okay. So anyway, supplementation is key. That's key in how I've been reducing my anxiety and stress levels as an autistic person with ADHD, raw dog in life, meaning no big pharma drugs. A lot of people with ADHD are like drugged up on whatever they're drugged up on. They have big pharma meth, Ritalin. A lot of them get like strong anti-anxiety medications. There's quite a lot of people with autism and ADHD, the same kind of issues that I have with stress and anxiety. They end up being super medicated, and I didn't need to. So supplements that have helped is like my protocol I teach other people to take. L-theanine and ashwagandha are good for anxiety. Vitamin C too. You can Google vitamin C stress buster. Psychology Today have an article. I've been teaching for years, recommending vitamin C. So Psychology Today stress buster, Google it. Psychology Today vitamin C stress buster. Oh, I've been teaching that. A lot of people have anxiety problems, stress problems. And stress ages you prematurely, makes you age faster, being stressed, and depletes your body vitamins. So vitamin C helps with stress. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen. Adaptogens lower cortisol, the stress hormone. So if you lower cortisol, you lower stress. See, ashwagandha is an adaptogen. It lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. High cortisol, long term, also lowers testosterone. For sure, long term, even short term, it does. So if cortisol goes up, you walk around with, what is that? If you're stressed, you have a lot of anxiety and stress, day by day, your testosterone levels will be declining. So that's part of why ashwagandha can help to protect men's testosterone and raise it naturally. So ashwagandha is a common supplement. L-theanine is a common supplement. Niacinamide also helps with anxiety and stress. Vitamin C once again, and magnesium. So what else are we doing here? Yeah, okay, so that's today's super shake. Well, it's 99% completed. There's going to be some more ingredients. I've added spirulina and chlorella powder to it, digestive enzymes, and probiotics. Let's add some more probiotics. These are probiotic capsules. This is concentrate strength, so I add a little bit more than I normally do because this is for 2 days. So half of it with today's OMAD meal and half of it for tomorrow's. Now this is not a liter bottle. I like to have around a half a liter a lot of times from OMAD meal. And I have like a pint glass that's about half a liter. A lot of times I make a liter bottle and pour it into that glass. So that's the super shake for this OMAD meal. And I can have a bottle left in the fridge. Now this is 0.75 centiliter, 0.75 liters, I think. So I can dilute it a little bit. Anyway, here we go. Probiotic powder. Next up, we're gonna add coconut milk. This is coconut milk. So that's for vitamin C, 3 grams. Probiotic capsules, digestive enzyme tablet, which not only will add digestive enzymes to the super shake, but will help to mix the powder into it. because it's not a shaker bottle, it's a regular juice bottle that I bought because it's made from glass. Intended to use it as a shaker bottle. So adding the digestive enzyme tablet to it helps the powders to mix, because it's going to be a solid object bouncing around and they happen to mix it. See? So here's the coconut milk that I bought. Now this is plastic, okay? Now I avoid plastic as much as possible, but it's like on a rare occasion drink out of plastic. If I go to the supermarket, I've been sweating, I'm dehydrated, I might buy that day a plastic bottle that's in the cooler and have it just to rehydrate. Okay, but it's like on a rare occasion. I don't on the regular drink out of plastic containers. So anyway, this is Ampava coconut milk, and this is, I bought this from Top Formula, so I did an unboxing video showing what I got there, and this is one of the things. And this is from Thailand. Coconut extract, 90% water, has stabilized emulsifiers. Not bad. My wife comes from Thailand. If she drinks too much, this might make her an angry woman. Asiatic agro industry. Okay. So anyways, it's fun. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Okay, so today's super shake. Chlorella spirulina powder, vitamin C powder, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and vegetable protein powder, organic. Jag ska börja en video här som cleaning till idag.